So, okay.
You're all set.
Please excuse my stumbling. I first want to thank TJ for inviting me to provide a space for my sculptures and the Corva. Anyway, I've heard repeatedly tonight, I didn't know this place existed. What a lovely space it is. And I said, well, make contact with this guy. So anyway, TJ.
Yes, please do.
Yeah.
There's an email letter list you can sign up for.
Okay, I was never a painter, welder, actor, poet, or even read fiction until late in life when I realized I needed to find something that would, some means of expression beyond being labeled as retired. I shy away from that term often, most often. My only connection to the art world was through my lifelong partner and most effective critic, Corva, who's educated in art history and with an innate appreciation of color. So who influenced me the most beyond Corva? Bonnie Baxter, a multimedia artist and printer and a friend since the 9th grade, and her husband Michel Boudre, a metal sculptor, I claim as my initial mentors. Both of them live outside Val-David, Montreal. Michelle provided guidance on setting up the studio in 2011, and I was told just to play with it over and over and over. And suddenly, things started clicking. I became impressed with the works of the late John Chamberlain. There's a piece in the Nelson, and I realized that he was a terrible welder, but his stuff was beautiful. One day after shopping in Columbia, Missouri on Stadium Drive, we found some horse sculptures in the front yard of a bank. And they were done by Doug Owen out of Colorado. I laid on the ground and I explored the inner aspects. What I didn't even know what the term armature meant, but so I studied it, and I thought to myself, I think I could do that. And so I made about 7 sculptures copying him, and then I emailed him for some guidance, and he suggested, the best suggestion ever, find my own pathway, which I did. And my pathway was also influenced then by the Cubist and by my 10th grade geometry course, as you can see. So how have I evolved? My first horse sculpture, in 2014 was built after John and Beverly gave me their worn out Weber grill. Thanks, John. Where are you?
Right there.
You're welcome. Toast to them. They're great supporters. I patterned my armatures just like Doug Owen's pieces, and I soon found that the armature was more important to me than the covering, which I referred to as the lipstick. More clicking occurred, and I quickly realized the importance of a good engineered armature to be able to withstand the natural elements. I had a few early on that would fall over and fall apart. Initially inspired by Doug Owen, I used almost all found materials from junkyards and things people gave me or I found in the forest or on the edge of the field. Yeah. Now most of my pieces are made of a combination of new carbon steel and then found steel. Then, initially my pieces were obviously horses. There was no question about it. But actually the people who live near us are horse people, and so they like the photoreal horses. But like most artists, I moved from representation to abstraction, providing more mystery. Although I've never been interviewed or never been shown or invited to show at Dan Frew's gallery, I found the love of rust and the patina patterns produced by the chemical rusting. In the same vein, I love the layering of George Brock's paintings and compare my layering of steel cutouts to ceramicists building their sculptures by layering more clay. And so I do what I call editing. When I don't like it, I just add another layer, which adds a lot more weight, unfortunately. I'm asked if I initially draw my pieces. I think Cass has asked me in the past. But I don't beyond a simple sketch with chalk on a tabletop, and I'm just purely drawing the armature. In most cases, I find I'm actually more in love with the armature and have to pause to become more acquainted with the pieces before I move on to finding my direction. And do my sculptures have a message? I don't start with any message beyond just the pose. And since we all abstract what we see, I don't want to be too photoreal so as to prevent you all from abstracting for yourself. And it's just amazing what people tell me, what they see in these pieces. I had no idea, or it never came to me. And so that's what I love about it when they say, I can't believe you did this. This is, you created it this way and for such and such. And I'll say to myself, I did. I've spent some time looking online at abstract courses to see if I can be accused of simply copying somebody else's sculptures. But to date, after my initial 10 sculptures, I haven't found anything close to what I'm creating. The one thing unique about my sculptures are the extended long legs. And that's, I learned that, or was inspired by that, by a painter, Eva Whitaker, who has very exaggerated legs. So what's my future? Among things, I've produced 54 horse sculptures, now about 6 or 7 per year. My future is limited to my age and the physicality of the sculptures. My goal is to become more adventuresome with abstraction. Some people won't like that, but I will. And some will be rusted, some will be painted, some will be protected, all in collaboration with, guess who? Thank you for coming tonight. And thank you.